Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Till Victory, and if today is your first time of coming to my channel, you know what to do. Click on the subscribe button, on the notification bell so you get all my fabulous videos. Well, today I'm talking about how to understand why you got rejected. Well, if you applied for study permit and if you don't understand, you keep making the same mistake. So let's go to some of the reasons that the officers give. First, you might be rejected. They said, oh, you have been rejected because of your financial situation, not enough money. I'd be like, what? I have 5 million, I had 10 million. I'll tell you exactly what they were thinking. Secondly, you can be rejected when they say, or you are rejected because of your employment situation, and you might not understand because as far as you know, you're employed. Then thirdly, they can say you've been rejected because of your family ties, maybe ties in Nigeria or ties in Canada. So I would break it down to you so you understand what to do differently when you apply again. Firstly, if they say you have been rejected because of your financial situation, these are some of the things you need to correct. First of all, when you apply for study permit, you must ensure that you have paid. If it's a 1-year program, 1-year postgraduate program, you must ensure you have paid your first semester fee, at least your first semester tuition. Or if it's a 2-year program, you must ensure you paid your first year tuition. It doesn't guarantee you an acceptance, but it gives you a better standing. Then secondly, if you have paid your first year tuition, you must make sure that in your account, you still have a minimum of $30,000, depending on your school fees. If your school fees in total is say 28,000 Canadian dollars, then you paid probably for your first year, you paid 12,000 and you're left with 16,000. You must make sure that the balance in your account would cover your second year fee and still allow you to pay for your accommodation and other small things that you need in school. But that's for single people. If you're married with family and you're planning to leave your family in Nigeria or in your country and travel to Canada, some of the reasons why the officer might reject you on basis of not having enough money is that if the money in your account is a summary of everything you need in school, the officer will think, but you're leaving your family. So how do your family get sustained if you're leaving them at home? If you're rejected, the officer is thinking that if you go to Canada to study and you use all the money in your account, all your savings, then there is a high likelihood that when you're in Canada and your family is requiring sustenance, you might drop out of school and take up illegal work in order to send money back to your family. If you don't have enough to show that you can cater for your family and still study, it can lead to a rejection. How do I avoid that? If your wife is working and you can prove that, you can also put your wife's statement to show, even though I'm going to school, my family will not be left destitute. My wife is working, this is her salary, this is her account balance, so that my family will be taken care of. Then that will give you a better standing. That's financial. I hope you got it. Okay, the second one, when they say employment situation, sometimes when you write your letter of explanation, you're not able to show them that the value that study you are going to undertake would add to your current career. So how do you solve that problem when you are applying for study and it's probably an MBA or something, a postgraduate program to add to your undergraduate program which you'll be using to work? You must be sure to show them how this degree makes a difference in your career. For example, you can say, I'm a middle manager, and if I get this MBA, it will help me to a better competitive position to be promoted to top management. And maybe my salary is 300,000 naira, and when I go to top management, that will be tripled. I might start earning 1 million naira in a month. You must try and be explicit in explaining that so that they will see the value that motivates you to spend that much, because study is expensive. You and I agree. For a third reason, when they say, oh, because of your family ties, we're not convinced that after your studies, you will leave Canada to return home to your home country, Nigeria, or wherever your home country is. How do you mitigate that? We all know that you want to apply to study in Canada, not just because you have so much money to spend, but also because of the opportunity to continue onto the pathway of permanent residence. And so when you try to convince them so much, they just feel that this person is not being truthful. So I would say, when you're writing your letter of explanation, take a neutral ground. You can say something like, of course, I would love to explore the opportunities that I would get by studying in Canada. I would like to explore every opportunity possible when I finish my study in Canada. But peradventure, none of the opportunities present itself after my studies. I still have the fallback or the option to return to my home country and use what I have gained in Canada to progress in my career or my business. So do not try to overly convince them, oh, I've left my wife and children, so I'm coming back. Oh, I have aging parents, so I'm coming back. All those things people say. Oh, I have a business, so I'm coming back. Do stay on a neutral ground. When you do that, you let them see sincerity, that this person knows their worth, they know the opportunities in Canada, they are willing, but they're not going to go illegal. They won't overstay just because they're looking for opportunities. And there's so much reason they give. And if you have been rejected before, and some of the reason you were given is not included in what I've discussed today, you are welcome to send me an email. I will try to explain to you what you did wrong and how to do better. Okay? And so, in conclusion, if you're in that dilemma and you feel that you need professional help, you can see on the description of this video, I recommend you to a registered Canadian immigration lawyer, which have a success rate in helping other students. When you connect with her, she can give you more details. Till then, stay safe, and thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Victory.